Why does this have to be professional? It's Mr. Boomji. When does anything ever have to be professional?
Hello, John.
Hello.
How are you?
Abby. I'm good. How are you? I'm Mr. Boomji.
Good. Okay, so, John, I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
What do you know about the Cold War?
Well, the Cold War was when America and the Soviets and everyone, they had an arms race to try to see who would have the best weapons. Yeah. Oh, do you want me to elaborate? Okay, so
Yeah.
so there are many different things. First, a big part of it was the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the Soviets tried to put missiles in Cuba, and then the U.S. was like, no way, we don't want missiles close to us. So, yeah, they resolved that, and that was that.
Do you know anything about the Cold War?
Sure. So, although Stalin and the United States were allies against the Axis powers for World War II, Stalin quickly seized power and established the USSR, which was an incredible Russian entity that encompassed a lot of what we think of as Eastern European states today. And the concern was that during World War II, both the United States and Russia were working towards nuclear arms. But once Germany was defeated, it then became this race of superpowers. Both countries had resources, both countries had scientists, both countries had access to technology, but really the Cold War was more about ideology.
Okay, so Grace, back to our topic.
Alright,
What do you know, or what do you remember about World War II?
World War II. Alright, so the United States got involved when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in December. And then I know that Hitler put a lot of people in extermination camps. Like, not just Jews, they were like mentally handicapped and like people that he thought were inadequate to live. And then I know that we bombed Japan after they wouldn't surrender to us. So they bombed with the atomic bomb, they bombed Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
How the Civil War started?
Yeah.
Like
What do
the
you
event
know?
that happened?
Yeah.
Or, the South didn't want to give up their slaves. They tried to make it about taxes, and like everybody in the South was like, it was a skirmish about taxes. That's bullcrap. It was about slavery, and it was about keeping people as property instead of making them into human beings. So, you can get that from any of the literature that came out during that time. Anything that we see that was pre-Civil War was incredibly racist. It was incredibly racially driven. The idea that the Civil War was started over taxes is a lie that is designed to make the South feel better about what they did, which was keeping people as property. So, that was the whole point of the Civil War.
And
Boo, the South shall not rise again.
what do you know about the Civil War?
Alright, the Civil War.
Civil War,
The
yes.
Civil War, Abraham Lincoln was president, and it was mainly known for being a war about slavery, but it was not. It was about keeping the Union together. So South Carolina seceded first.
What about the counterculture?
The counterculture, those were the hippies. And they were like, they rejected all values. They were against the middle class, didn't want to like live in the suburbs. But instead, they valued their own thinking over like reason and stuff.
What do you know about hippies? Or the
Okay,
counterculture?
The counterculture, they valued emotion over reason, and they wanted like more rights for like homosexuals, and they wanted to see like abortion legal, and they wanted birth control pills, and that called for conservatism in the 1980s with Ronald Reagan was president.
Okay. What about World War I? Let's take it back.
Well, you know, it was a war. First one.
Yeah?
Where were you born?
I was born in Illinois.
Oh. Were you influenced in any way during the like civil rights when you were young?
I think so. It's interesting. My dad served in the military, and when I grew up in the military, it was completely, integrated. There really wasn't any concept of race or racism, at least as I could perceive as a child. Maybe there was that people experienced in subtle ways, but it was really markedly different than what it was like when my dad first joined. Like, I know stories of him talking about how there were black officers who were exceptional men, but who were treated really horribly.
Obviously, through the Afghan war, my brother is in the Air Force, so he was over there. He met my sister-in-law there, actually. They got married because they were stationed at the same base in Iraq. So, yeah, I mean, I've lived through these most recent ones. Had an uncle in Vietnam. I remember the Panama skirmish in the late 80s. That was a fun one. So, yeah, that's what I've lived through.